Soulless, spineless and shocking from Chelsea, second week in a row. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. How lovely of Chelsea to gift the team that we have a soft spot for a second win into, crashing out the FA Cup to them, and then 3-0, our worst defeat of the season. And yeah, how nice after getting thrashed 7-0. Isn't this a lovely gift? It doesn't get any more high-spirited than this. It's just so ironic, isn't it? The club that we've been sympathising with, that we've basically raided the backroom staff of, embarrassing us like that. And today is so much bigger than the football, isn't it? Except I just can't get past how shocking we were. Lack of desire, lack of quality, guys. We didn't even look remotely interested or competitive in that game. Dominated possession for about 5 minutes at the start, and I was like, yes, and then reverted back to old ways. And when I mean old ways, I mean the oldest of most toxic lows of ways as possible that we've seen since the takeover. That is how bad today was. And of course, the reaction and the outburst of Chelsea fans is as expected, because once again, we find ourselves in this pit. It wasn't just a rough patch, guys. 2 wins in the league in 9 games is not a rough patch anymore. It is not a rough patch anymore. We literally, guys, let me just give you a lovely little stat here. We boosted Brighton's goal difference to 0 today. Yes, to 0. How nice of a milestone is that? Conceding 3 against them, and not even a shot on target, guys. Not a single shot on target today. Just, yeah, let that rest for a moment. Not one shot on target. We were hopeless. No ball control, no quality, no idea, no shape, no nothing. I mean, it literally, the disparity in the two teams and the quality there today was abysmal. And I think that is as far as I will go to talk about the actual game in itself. Because what on earth, guys? You know, I was so excited to see this Chelsea squad get revamped, to bring in fresh faces, to bring in players, but also to bring in experience. Yet that wasn't done. And I honestly will die on the hill that is, first and foremost, such a big void in our team. In every game you can spot it, even in our very best, you might say, because sometimes it's so difficult to get ourselves into a game, to bring our mentality up. And there you go, you can see the lack of mentality. These players are getting stripped of confidence by the day, and there is not a single player that can pick them up in this squad in a game and say, you are in a knockout game, fight for it, come back. Or, you know, you've gone behind in a result, come back, fight for it. And it's just simply not there. And yes, Maresca can take some blame for, you know, lacking, I guess, the tactical flexibility now. But what does he do now? You know, he's only working with what he was given. So this is where, ladies and gentlemen, we look further upstairs. And I think, once again, this is why I perhaps cut Poch maybe as much slack. And don't worry, this video isn't about Poch. We're not talking about Poch here. We're simply talking about the fact that this has all now gone way past the manager, who is just kind of the surface level and the one that comes out and vocalises what's actually going on inside the club. You know, we react negatively towards him for coming out and saying, oh, you know, we're ahead of schedule and top 4 was never a target. Well, clearly that's what he was told. So why on earth do we think that these players are getting motivated with the fact that they're coming in and being told that this is what the immediate present day plan at Chelsea looks like? There isn't one. It's all about they believe in the project. They're excited about the project. This long-term supposed process that is actually trying to convince Chelsea fans, by the way, entitled or not, to believe in long-term success and sacrifice present day. Sorry, did you really think that this would be acceptable? Another year next year without Champions League football? God forbid, it's not happened yet, but do you know what I'm getting at here? So how delusional of me to come into a season and expect all these things, and to think that Chelsea should be good enough to be competing in 2 domestic cups, to be competing for top 4, and to be playing in the Conference League, comfortably battling between those 4. Ha! How delusional. And then we're told, okay, we've crashed out both domestic cups, now we can focus on the league and the Conference League. Great focus there, boys, isn't it? Great focus. So here we are. I'm just really struggling to kind of see the big picture. So we're coming into the season expecting one thing, and clearly this whole time there is none of that happening there. And yeah, Maresca saying we're ahead of schedule in December. Well, guys, joke's on us. He wasn't actually trying to be humble there. He really was saying we are ahead of schedule. Top 4, that wasn't even where I imagined we'd be. Chelsea will get top 4, but not necessarily this season. Just, yeah, shocking, abysmal. So now I'm like kind of going back and thinking about all the comments. Well, guys, they're trying to set new standards here. Fans can sing we want our Chelsea back all they like in the crowds, but guess what? There isn't going to be an old Chelsea back. The whole point of everything they've done since coming over and taking over is to get rid of that. Start a clean slate and do things their way. Right, yeah. Oh my God, guys, when the camera panned to Thomas Tuchel in that first half, I'm not joking. I thought I might cry. Do you guys know that meme where it's like this guy pulls out a dagger out of his chest? That's how it felt. Because I literally thought back to the time where I stupidly said, give Thomas Tuchel time. Yes, you know, get behind him, bring in some players, revamp the squad, refresh. You know, we need a clear out, but we need exciting players. And we also need a great balance of experienced players as well to replace with, because we've always had those in the past. And instead, no, quite the opposite, isn't it? And how ironic that we from then went to appoint a Brighton's manager for 5 years at the time. And guys, look at us now. I got flashbacks to that season actually after where, what was it? We lost 4-1 at the Amex in 2022 and then we lost 1-0 at home. And that was probably, you know, one of the lowest lows as well. But at that point, guys, I remember saying the players don't look like they care. And this season, I really thought the players do care. And I'm not saying they don't, you know, I'm saying that they did look like they had chemistry, but now in these games that we've seen recently, it doesn't look like it, guys. It does not look like we have chemistry on the pitch. It looks like the players met before the game, started to play, and there you go, guys. Joking about having an A team and a B team and half a C team at the start. Now we're trying to make do with this supposed A team, and yet when you're down, you're bringing on the likes of Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Tyreek George. No disrespect to the players as well. This isn't even their fault. I mean, Tyreek George, actually, young kid, came on and tried something. Fair enough, George, but, you know, this was never your kind of role to have here. It was never meant to be the case that you'd need to be dealing with this, you know. We spent the amount of money that we did to have the supposed senior players, or the ready-made players, which they're not, obviously, because that's, again, not the model here. Not buying ready-made players, are we? But again, we were supposedly bought enough players to have enough depth. And there you go. Those are the substitutes we're making. And they're at Brighton making their substitutes, bringing on the likes of João Pedro, who almost, by the way, added another there as well. So, again, the disparity. And it's just shocking, isn't it? So, of course, we're a laughing stock, especially if Brighton are looking at Chelsea today. I mean, they're probably saying, well, who's laughing now? So, very, very poor in every shape of the form, guys. And it's a combination of feelings, really. Like, I feel angry, but at the same time I feel annoyed, and I also feel disrespected. And why I say that is because I feel disrespected as a Chelsea fan for the fact that I've been made to feel stupid for having the standards I have had this season, and for all the people that have said to me, Nina, forget about it, like, you know, you really, really need to kind of step away from this and look at it for what it is. And yeah, well, today I'm doing just that. I am looking at it for real. And how can I possibly expect anything of my old Chelsea when they've made it crystal clear that this is not what it is anymore? There is going to be a new Chelsea, a utopian Chelsea at some point in the near future. When that can be, I'm not too sure, guys. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And, you know, in that process, we become just a shadow of ourselves from the past. So yeah, call me entitled or not, but yeah, that's just how I felt at the start, so that's why I feel disrespected now. But there you go then, jokes on me. Happy Valentine's Day, guys, once again. I hope that you guys have had other plans to cheer you up today if you're a Chelsea fan, and I'm not going to let this dictate your mood. Oh, how I wish that football did not affect me as much as it does. My mum literally looked at me at one point, I was sat on the sofa just fuming, and she was like, relax. No, mum, can't relax. But yeah, we were fuming, and I was watching the game with my dad, and I feel like in the last few times we've watched games together, we've lost. And so I said that to him, and he, bless him, moved and watched it in the other room. Still lost. And then at one point my mum looked at the TV and she saw Danny Welbeck, and she was like, Welbeck? Bearing in mind she doesn't really watch football much anymore, but obviously used to in the past. And I said, yeah. And it just made me really deep life. 2 assists on the night. There you go. But yes, and where to from here, guys, you may ask? Well, Villa next. Villa, a team who have been so proactive in a transfer window, thinking very much about the present moment in time and the goals for the rest of the season. Still very much in Champions League, still very much with top 4 in sight. And there we are. Sending loans out and thinning our squad and being left of injuries now, not addressing the prime and the biggest matter that we have literally been avoiding every single window. And yeah, to play a Villa side who 2-0 up in a knockout game for a cup were bringing on their new signings that were supposed to strengthen their squad. only they can bring some super subs on. Can we? Not too sure. So guys, I am worried and I've gone a little bit delirious, so I'm going to leave this one here before I go on to say some more silly things. But yeah, I don't know what else to say to you guys. I hope you have a lovely weekend if you can do that. Like this video if you've watched till the end, and subscribe if you're a new viewer to stick around. Thanks guys.